Hi everyone. Today we're going to be interviewing Marshall Nguyen, club alumni, skincare expert, coding genius, and mastermind of TFT.
Oh,
So Amos and I know Marshall pretty well, but today we want to share with everyone a window into Marshall's world or Marshall's planet. So thank you for coming today, Marshall. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your name, your age, what your major was, and some of your hobbies?
sure. So my name's Marshall. My friends call me Marsh. I'm 22 years old and I majored in computer science. With hobbies, I don't really do much except play like teamfight tactics. But yeah.
Anything else like Pokemon or
Oh, yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
I play well, before COVID was a thing, I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh and yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Do you think those hobbies go kind of like hand in hand with the CS major?
No.
No,
No.
You've never
they're
played with another CS major. You're the only one at all of these events.
Oh, no, there's Elton, but I don't think they really have anything to do with CS. If anything, it might have ruined my life, but that's another story.
I see.
Can you
Okay,
tell us.
as a curious question, if you go to one of these events and you had to stereotype the people that you met at these events, what is the biggest group? What is the biggest demographic that you meet at these events for Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon?
Stinky.
Stinky,
Stinky. They're
stinky,
unhygienic and sweaty.
unhygienic, like the missing the shower kind of crowd.
Yeah, I guess that does go hand in with CS, but I assure you, I take showers every day.
All right, we've gotten to our first important bit of information. Marshall showers every
Number
day.
one, Marshall has good hygiene.
Yes.
And a lot of people join the Kendo Club for a different reason or a very specific reason. And a lot of people come because of anime. And some, but very few, do it for physical exercise. So we're wondering like, why did you join the Kendo Club?
So I came across the Kendo Club on Ring Road one day when they were boothing and selling coffee for fundraising. And so I approached them and they were all just hooligans acting like weebs. And for some reason, I was like, I kind of dig this vibe. And then they sold me
Okay.
coffee, and along with it, I just joined the club and checked it out because I thought it was cool.
So they sold to you the club and the coffee.
Yes, ma'am.
They sold you a dream, a goal, a lifestyle.
Just
Kendo, get yours today.
you get to whack people with sticks.
So was it like the demographic that brought you in? Like, were you like my people? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it was. I thought that everyone seemed really cool and friendly, and everyone was a weeb or into K-pop, and we had a lot of common interests. But at the same time, everyone was really open and friendly.
Oh, that's really nice.
But, important question, Marshall, was the coffee good?
Okay, to be honest, on that day, no. It was really watered down. But then, I don't know if I'm allowed to like divulge this, but Ben let me in on the secrets to Kendall Club's coffee. It They watered it down intentionally, but
Oh, really?
We're cutting this from the podcast. we can't, we can't, we can't ever have a coffee fundraiser if this news gets out.
I
oh, I'm
remember
sorry.
I
It's
bought the
okay.
coffee. I bought the coffee. I tasted it. I went back to the dining hall and put more coffee into the coffee because it was so watery.
Yeah, it like flips between either being watered down or super sweet, depending on who makes it. But
I see.
I guess I'm like the whistleblower for this now, huh?
So you just vibed so hard with us that you're like, despite this awful coffee that I've received and has disappointed me immeasurably, I would join this club for the vibes.
Yes. The people were lovely. The coffee wasn't.
So back to the CS major part. The club attracts a lot of different majors, mostly like CS and bio. But did you think you formed a lot of like professional or personal connections through the club?
Oh yeah. I mean, I owe a lot to Elton, and well, because he's an upperclassman and he's also a CS major. Um, but yeah, there's also this like sort of uh mentorship feeling with all the upperclassmen as well that kind of helped me like go through school, I guess. So there's that too.
Do you
Are
think
there any
it
important tidbits you picked up that you might want to share with other people?
Oh yeah. Just try everything, I think. Like be open to try new things. Um, just look to have new experiences and have fun.
I think the Kendo Club was like one of your most experimental choices.
Oh yeah, like before this, I was just a hermit in my dorm room all day, like a nerd. But like, this was probably well, it was the most like physically active thing I did my whole time at UCI, and I guess that's pretty good. But yeah, it was one of the new things I wanted to try out, and kind of led to trying out a bunch of other things as well, like getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Do you think it
Yay.
improved your overall physical fitness?
Oh, yeah, I guess. It's a lot of cardio. I mean, I'm moving better than just sitting down in a chair all day.
Doing Kendo with asthma.
Oh yeah, that's quite fun.
You have some tips for everyone out there with asthma?
Bring an inhaler, drink water, uh, don't have an
Die.
asthma attack, don't die.
Wait, so Marshall, I know this never really came up, um, or at least I don't believe it came up too often. But if you needed to use your inhaler while the bogu was on, I assume you just took off then. But did you ever consider some kind of straw to attach to your inhaler so that you could stick it through the bogu and then use your inhaler while your bogu was still on?
You know, I never really considered that, but I hope that it doesn't happen one day, but I'm willing to try it.
I see.
They can sell it at eBoger. Asthma straw.
You could be Marshall could be like the model for it. And it's like, this helped me get all the oxygen that I needed when I didn't have it.
This prevented me from dying.
It saved my
Thank
life.
you, eBoger. Thank you.
We'll have like a before and after, and then the before is Marshall just like on the ground, and then after Marshall's like standing up, holding a trophy.
He's smiling with his thumbs up.
It's like, yeah,
Not
Marshall approved.
dead.
Still respirating.
Going back to people like Elton though, what do you think your relationship is with him now?
We live together. I mean, we're coworkers as well. I don't know. It's been really busy because we're working all day, and then after work we just kind of just go offline because we're tired. Um, I don't know. Our relationship is
So-
pretty normal.
You went from like a guy that sold you coffee to your coworker.
No, I mean, okay. He went from the guy that sold me coffee to the guy who got me back into Yu-Gi-Oh and doing like going to Anime Expo with and hanging out with to being a housemate and friend, and now all of that plus the coworker tag.
So do you think the club was really like a gateway into this life?
Yeah, I think that would also apply to just however you would make your own experience at college too. Just be open and talk to everyone. Be friendly, I guess.
Do you think that we can advertise Kendo as Kendo? If you stay long enough, you'll live with one of us. Because to be honest,
UCI Kendo, we'll get you a job.
Sort of, I guess.
Oh, I guess. I mean, it's a great place to make friends and find people with cool interests. I'll say that for sure.
Well, speaking of interests, now that everybody is locked inside, the number of things that we can actually do day to day is a little bit more limited. But how do you mostly spend your spare time during this COVID-19 pandemic? Do you have any specific things you might recommend people try? Since I know you were talking about trying new things earlier. Have you been keeping yourself occupied and staying all right?
Well, yeah, with all the lockdowns and whatnot, I've been doing a lot of retail therapy, just shopping in
Oh,
general.
I thought we were
I
talking about
love
things we could
that.
recommend.
Okay, things I can recommend. I mean, um,
You recommend Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime, it's a great deal. Free shipping.
I don't know if we can condone just like spending a lot of money on the
Oh, I
podcast.
recall you painting the other day.
Oh, I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
like 3 months ago.
I've been trying to like find time just to practice drawing and painting, I guess. But as for hobbies and stuff, I've just been playing games. Games are great.
Games were always like an old reliable hobby to you.
Yeah.
Is it something that you kind of default to? Like when you want a comfort activity, maybe you've had a long day, or you kind of just want to unwind? Is that the thing usually you go to?
Yeah. Yeah. I just like at the end of the day after work, I'm just like, man, I want to do what's the most like opposite thing of productivity? Oh, playing games, playing League of Legends. That's great.
So it's that or clicking add to cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any, like new games, would you say?
Oh, yeah, I've been trying a lot of new games as well. There's this really great roguelike called Hades. I really recommend it.
Oh,
Oh, I saw the
oh,
trailer for that.
It's really great. I just love the whole
Amazing.
genre of like roguelikes and card games. And also Slay the Spire. It's an amazing game.
oh! I remember I let you play that game on my account, and then I watched you just like stay up until 3 in the morning, and I was like, Marshall, you're gonna go to sleep? And you're like, yeah, in a bit.
I gotta beat the runs.
Yes, I remember this, so that might be my fault.
Oh, it's
How
not your
about
fault. It was a blessing.
Okay, if you say so.
how about Amos? Do you want to share a hobby too?
Um, well, like Marshall, I play a lot of games, but one thing that I have been doing a lot more since the pandemic started is reading. Reading is a very at your own pace activity, and you can do it however quickly and however you want. You don't have to read things all the way through. You don't have to read things extra quickly. You can imagine the events any way you want, and it kind of just takes just enough attention away from you that you don't really have to think about any of the stressful things you might be dealing with or any of the stressful things that are happening in the news. So it's kind of a useful form of escapism for me at least, and it's something that lets me relax and focus my mind on a specific task, which kind of gets me away from any, I guess, depressive moods I might be feeling. So I would personally recommend reading for a lot of people, even if, I don't know, you haven't touched anything since high school. And I guess for a lot of people, if you haven't spark noted anything from high school.
Any specific books?
Um, I think a series that I recommend to a lot of people is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Um, his style of writing is not overly flowery or opulent or anything like that. It is pretty straightforward, but characterizes all of the individual characters pretty well. And the plot is pretty interesting, the magic is pretty interesting, and it wraps everything up pretty nicely by the end. So I think anybody that reads that book series will be pretty satisfied.
I'll add it to my list. Are you gonna add it to your list, Marshall?
Marshall doesn't
Well,
read. We all know that.
I'm illiterate. I don't read anymore nowadays.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
should
okay.
probably mention that I don't actually read. I just hire somebody off the street to come in, and like I pay him like like a cent per word, and I'm just like, can you read this book to me? I just look for
That's
the
kind
nearest
of
kid. Okay,
pricey,
can you,
actually.
a cent per word? Yeah, you gotta pay for quality.
Yeah,
You don't want to
yeah.
pay. You don't want to cheap out, and then like he doesn't know what sanctimonious means or something. I don't
You
want to
can
have to
like
explain it.
pay someone to act it out for you.
Yeah. So you pay for like a Shakespearean reenactment of all the books that you have.
Nice. Well, I'll keep the games Marshall mentioned and that book series in mind next time I'm bored. And lastly, this is for Marshall. Do you have any favorite memories or stories from the club?
Oh man, there's so many. Hmm. I
Is
think
there like a specific one you really want to share to the public?
um I guess my most memorable club related memory was our first trip to Budokuden, because
Oh,
that was
Hmm.
really scary at first going to an actual dojo, but it was really cool and everyone was super friendly and it was pretty intense, but in a good way.
What do you mean intense in a good way?
Cause
Like difficult?
yeah, so well, it was challenging because I feel like practice at the Arc was kind of different. It had a different dynamic than at the dojo, and there were a lot more people, but it was just yeah, a little bit more challenging. But I I felt like dying after each practice there, but it felt great.
is it
I,
like the etiquette and like the faster pace? Would you say?
yeah, yeah. So like there was a lot more emphasis on the etiquette, I think, and there was a lot more. I felt like I grew more practicing at Budokuden too, because they really make you like practice all the different things.
You heard it here first. Marshall thinks UCI practice is worthless.
Oh my god,
It's a
no.
waste of his time. It's a waste of his time. Clean it up, folks. Marshall's been evaluating our practice, and he doesn't approve of it. So we gotta retool the whole thing. Teresa,
Okay.
you're club president. We need a new plan.
New plan. Oh man. Maybe get rid of this virus first.
Yeah, that's on you. Step one, go cure the virus.
Okay. Okay. I'll just make a
Uh,
vaccine.
But that actually leads into something I was curious about, Marshall. So I know like you've been to joint practices with us and everything, and you were mentioning how it's kind of a different experience at Butokuden, but I think a lot of people feel that joint practices too are kind of gateways into alternate kendo experiences because you get to practice with people who see it kind of differently and play shiai a little bit differently too. So, do you have any thoughts on what it was like going to, I think our first joint practice with the UCR and CPP was that the first one you went to?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah. Um,
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about like what that's like when you're kind of new to kendo?
yeah. So like with visiting like a new dojo and practicing with new people, it's really cool because you get to see like the different people and different levels of experience, and you get to learn from everyone too. And it's really awesome because yeah, you just learn different techniques and ways to do kendo from everyone. And I think having that open like mindedness is pretty important, not just for kendo but for life as well. And that's one thing I hold on with what I learned from kendo.
Was there
Open-mindedness.
any like person or moment from the joint practices that like really stood out to you and stuck with you?
Um, let's see. Well, well, one moment that really stood out was when I went to I think it was the Memorial Day tournament, and I got knocked out like instantly.
Hmm.
It was like the fastest like points I've ever gotten taken off of like
Do you
ever.
remember who you played against?
Yeah, it was Reed.
Shout this dude out right now. Oh,
Reed
Reed
Watanabe. Yeah. He's awesome. He's really cool, and it was really cool how fast he hit everything. But it was also like pretty humbling because like, dang, I want to be as fast as that.
Hmm.
Your life flashed before your eyes.
Yeah, my life, the match, everything. I was just like on the bench watching the tournament the whole day. But that was still really cool, just
Did it
watching everyone.
inspire
too.
you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was really shocking, awe-inspiring, I guess. Just getting beat really badly like that.
Hmm.
From
What did it feel
UCI,
like to
right?
be there, like as part of a team?
Oh, it felt great. I think there was like this great camaraderie feeling because everyone's really supportive of each other. But also, it's really the energy is great because you're you feel like you're representing your club, but also
Hmm.
meeting other clubs as well and seeing how much energy they have and trying to match theirs, I guess.
Who was on your team at the time?
I think it was Tim and Michaela.
Ah, that's right.
Do you have any like really funny stories you want to share?
Um, hmm. You know, nothing particularly comes to mind. I would have to think about that.
Really? Not even something like degrading to a certain person.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. So the first time I joined the Kendo Club, at the end of the quarter, we had like a tournament, right? And I was still non-bogu, and okay, I'm pretty slow on the uptake when it comes to learning things sometimes before I ramp up, but I could not like remember all the etiquette and the procedures when doing the the whatever. I forgot what we were doing for
Just
that tournament.
starting, you know?
Yeah, just starting.
Yeah.
And so I
Hmm.
would like constantly just be get told like to just stand back and do just hit, I guess. And then I would miss too. I missed. But it was still pretty great because like I think about that and then I think like going forward, I still just think back to that moment just to see how much I've grown doing kendo.
Hmm. Um, the new uh, the new student experience to Kendo is sometimes a little awkward for a lot of people. Actually, I wouldn't say sometimes. Very often awkward to new members. And there's often an awkward adjustment phase where you kind of have to get used to the peculiarities of Kendo. So you mentioned that like you might have had a little bit trouble with all the mannerisms and regi and stuff like that. But how would you describe this learning curve and what kept you motivated going through this initial maybe awkward phase?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So like the kendo when you're first starting is extremely daunting because of all these like mannerisms and peculiarities. But I think like what was really a breakthrough moment for me with like taking just jumping into kendo was like taking that leap of faith and also how
Mm.
supportive everyone was like because everyone starts somewhere. You're not expected to know everything when you start something new, right? And I felt like
Well, well,
wow, in most
we had
cases.
we had plans for you, Marshall. We saw you from the start, and we were like, "That's it. That's our
You
boy."
gotta sell this guy coffee
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
right now.
Go get him. Go get him. Make the wateriest coffee you can make right now, and we've got him for life. That's our champion.
But yeah, so it was really I think part of why I stuck through it was because of how supportive everyone was in the club and how it was just I was willing to just try something new. And like as someone like me who has like severe anxiety and just afraid of just regular human interaction, it was really scary at first, but I'm really glad I stuck through it.
Is that a thing you would shout out as advice to people starting? Stick through it, that kind of thing, or do you have anything more specific?
Yeah, I would just say, well, not just sticking through it, but like be willing to try new things that you're not particularly like comfortable at first with. As long as you're not like harming yourself or anything, yeah, because safety is
Mm,
priority. But
gotcha.
just be willing to try new experiences because who knows where everything will lead to.
Mm, you could live with one of these senpai one day.
Yeah, you could have a roof over your head or get
You could
thrown
get a
down a rabbit
job.
hole of trading cards.
That reminds me. We had initial impressions when we spoke with Nathan and Michael, but let's get some initial impressions from Marshall. Let's say Teresa.
Teresa? Oh, I thought she was super cool and friendly. Cause we joined kendo at the same time, and so we were like clustered as the newbies, right? But
Hmm.
it was Yeah, it was me, Teresa, Melanie, and a former member named Callista, and I felt like we kind of just stuck through together, I guess, and it was really fun.
We were like Doug Trio. Well, I thought you were super cool too, Marshall.
Oh, thanks, but
I thought it was cool you stuck through despite your asthma and your wheezing.
oh, yeah, mean, yeah.
I mean, I never knew you had asthma until I think much later, but I always found it really admirable because you were always trying your best when you came to practice. And so, that impressed me. And I was really glad that we had a member that was willing to push themselves. And I know that it's not a requirement for students or anything. You can only put in as much as you want to. We're not going to make you go the extra mile if you don't necessarily want to. But you put in the effort when you were here, and I thought that was really amazing. So it's always been a pleasure to have you in the club.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
What was your first impression of Amos while we're on the topic?
I thought it was really cool
I'm
and
listening very
friendly.
carefully.
Oh gosh. I think the first time I met Avis, his hair was red, and I thought it was really cool.
Oh God!
But
Was
now
that-
he's not cool because it's not red
Yeah, it's not red
anymore.
anymore, so it's
As
just
my hair
Yeah,
changed color, you were like, "Who's this lamo? Who is this guy?"
So, he's
oh
not
yeah,
even good at kendo.
and we like talked about melee, I think, which was really funny.
Oh my God! Yes, I remember that. Do you want to explain why you called me at 2 in the morning over the summer once?
And you
'Cause-
described him as like undeniably something, but I can't quite remember.
Oh, let's say that night, had a few too many drinks to drink, I guess, and um, we called Amos. I don't wait. Was it Elton who called Amos? I don't know. Someone put Amos
I
on the
still
phone.
don't remember why. Like, why was it me? And how did you know I would be awake just because I was a grad student?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that, but like, they put Amos on the line, and like, I drunkenly thanked him for like curing cancer because I guess drunk me thought that grad student Amos was doing research to cure cancer, and he did it. But
I was doing that kind of research, but I wasn't successful.
yeah, Amos is a hero.
Thank you, sir. I don't do biology anymore, but thank you.
Before we end, we got some questions sent in. So these questions were sent in from random people in the club. I'm gonna start with the two short questions. The first one is your big toe size sent in from Charlie.
Oh,
We expected this.
let me get my tape measure real quick.
We're creating a big toe size tier list. We're ranking all of our guests by big toe size.
Yes, so Hiroshi's still at number 1.
It is barely 2 inches.
Oh my god!
What?
New record!
This is from like the base of the toe, right?
Oh,
Have you
I
been
think-
sandbagging your toe length this whole time?
Wait, what?
I
Sandbagging?
think anywhere that is defined as toe.
Yeah, 2 inches, I think.
Wow.
5 centimeters.
Okay. Good for everyone to know.
I think
Kitty,
she's somewhere breathing a sigh of relief.
like, oh. Katie was wondering, how did you design the header sticker?
Oh, well, it was just I got like a new surface for the corridor, and I thought, okay, what excuse can I use to not be productive with my schoolwork right now? And then I thought it'd be cool to make some Peter stickers for the Kendo Club, but also I only really drew the Bogu, but Teresa also drew the really cool men on it too, so she did that part. It was more like a collaborative effort.
Teresa, I think you're cutting out a little bit.
Is it okay now?
A little better, yeah.
Okay. Well, I still think Marshall did most of the work. He also got them printed.
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out to Marshall.
I just wanted something cool.
Yeah, so the original Kendo art collab is Yo X Nguyen. It was the original design that if you got a Peter sticker, you have these two to thank for the
More
amazing design.
more to come in the future with different colored Bogu, hopefully.
Oh, I did not know about this.
Ooh. Okay, last question is a little bit heavier. It's like an advice question. So it starts, I want to get closer to a senpai who doesn't like me. He or she constantly gives off a go somewhere else, you trash vibe. But I just want him to be nicer and closer to me. Should I continue to make the effort to be friends with him, or just tell him, screw you too, you big fart, and save my time for other things? Please give a reason for whichever you choose.
Oh gosh. Well, first of all, I'm sorry you have to go through that. With whichever senpai is treating you like that, they must be really stinky. But um,
They must
gee,
play Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's never shower.
gee. Well, I think first and foremost, I think it's important to realize that how you feel is really important too, and you shouldn't be putting effort into something that makes you feel trash, right? Because you can just take that effort and put it towards other friends that you care about or doing other things that make you feel great. So I would say don't burn the bridge and be like "F you, but just uh just don't persist, I guess. Um I'm really sorry that they're treating you like this though.
Okay. So I guess we have a solid dating section of the podcast.
Oh gosh.
And so you're saying, don't be too attentive in those DMs. You're saying stop sending all those midnight you up DMs.
Yeah.
They're hard to get.
Because at the end of the day, right, I think friendship just comes more naturally. And if you feel like someone is treating you like trash, then you really don't have to put up with it. And I'm sure you have a great plethora of like things to do or people that treat you better.
It's great advice, Marshall. Thank you for sharing.
Well, yeah.
We have great advice from our love expert, but the other love expert, Teresa Yo, probably has something very insightful to share as well. Teresa, how does this wonton underclassman change their situation
Wonton?
around? Want is am I using this right?
When?
Wonton? What? You
Is
know
it
what?
like
How does
when?
this very sad boy or girl deal with their situation?
Wonton? Like the food?
How does this shrimp shumai of a person deal with their situation?
That
Oh,
sounds so good.
are we all giving advice?
Okay, give advice to the Xiaolong Bao, okay? Like, what do they do?
I completely agree with Marshall that friendship comes naturally, and if you force yourself too much and end up disappointed, then it was never really worth it. And like, you can only build relationships if they're mutual.
Okay,
Yep.
mutual consent is definitely a key to a healthy, thriving relationship,
How about
and also Xiaolong Bao's.
Amos?
Uh, I wanna. Well, okay, my initial answer was going to be very similar to what you two have said. You do
But now
want.
you want to be cool and different, huh?
Yes, I want to be contrarian. So, slide into these DMs, go hard, tell this person that they're special, and if they don't, then they suck. And whoever is asking this question, I'm sure, is very special and very unique on their own. Tell this person how you feel, be upfront about it, and then after that, if they want to be friends, you'll be friends. If they don't want to be friends, well, that's fine. You'll do something else and find someone else that is cool and not as stinky or as Yu-Gi-Oh playing, apparently, since we've established that. But yeah, there will be other fish in the sea. I mean, it's a little bit hard now that you probably can't see anybody in person.
Need
But yeah,
some like
go for it, and then if it
confession.
doesn't work out, It's
Sounds
fine.
like a confession of true love.
Yes. Go big or go home. Be bold. Take that step. Make that leap. And then if it doesn't work out, that's fine. Your Kendo family
Everything's
will be here for
awkward.
you. Yeah, and then we'll put you on a Kendo podcast and ask you about it.
I think that's all we have planned for today. Unless Marshall or Amos wants to say something else.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Marshall. Um, it's always been a pleasure talking to you, both about Kendo and about things that are not necessarily related to Kendo. But we're all really glad to have you around, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, thanks so much. It's been really fun being on this podcast, and I always enjoy talking to you guys.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys have a clear view of the weather on Marshall Planet. And Marshall, do you mind saying the don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for us?
Oh yeah, don't forget
Please.
to like and subscribe.
And comment.
Oh, and comment too.
Marshall doesn't want your comments. He doesn't want feedback. He doesn't care about what you think. Just
because-
like and subscribe.
I know I'm right all the time, obviously.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I'm always wrong. Please help. Send help.